Still I am hunted. Still I am hated.
Hello everyone! Last week we talked about Illidan's role during the War of the Ancients, and we left the story with Illidan imprisoned for creating a new well, Azora, Lady Vash and her highborn turned into the Naga, Dragon Aspects planting Ner'zhul and giving the Night Elves immortality, and Mayev's Shadow Song offering herself to guard Illidan. Before it was put away, Illidan warned all of them that the Legion would return, and when they would thank him for creating his well and treat him like a god. It would take 10,000 years locked away in darkness, but Illidan would be proven right. The Legion would return, but before that moment, some important events happened. The Highborn, led by Daframar's Sunstrider, they joined the resistance in the final moments of the war. Using arcane magic was made punishable by death, since the Night Elves had learned their lesson and they did not want to start another War of the Ancients. Daframar and his people, they simply couldn't deal with this. Magic was such a huge part of their life that they simply couldn't stop using it. Now they made using magic punishable by death, but they were unwilling to execute so many of their people, so instead they decided to exile the Highborn, and before they left, they stole one of Illidan's vials full of water from the Well of Eternity. Eventually, these exiles, they found a way to the Eastern Kingdoms, they started to call themselves High Elves, they built their city of Quel'Thalas, and they used the vial to create their own Well of Power, namely the Sunwell. Mayev's Shadow Song was one of the people who wanted to kill Illidan on the spot, but thanks to his brother, they decided to imprison Illidan instead. She then offered herself to guard Illidan, and Malfurion told her to collect volunteers from the Sisterhood of Elune. Those that joined Maiev, they became an organization known as the Watchers, and as their leader, Maiev was granted the title of Warden. Over time, she would award a select few who had proven themselves with the same title. Her brother Jared would one day simply leave the Night Elves behind, he would simply disappear, and he left her alone to guard Illidan for millennia. Throughout those years, the Watchers became her family, and Illidan was her main focus. Malfurion, under the teachings of Cenarius, had become an archdruid, and he'd started to teach other male Night Elves how to become a druid themselves. The Night Elves druids, including Malfurion, were bound to the Emerald Dream through the world tree Ner'zhul. As part of the mystical pact, the druids agreed to sleep for centuries at a time, so that their spirits could roam the infinite paths of Ysera's dreamways. Though the druids were grieved at the prospect of losing so many years of their lives to hibernation, they selfishly agreed to uphold their bargain with Ysera. They would wake up from time to time, and sometimes Malfurion would visit Illidan's prison in the hopes of turning him from his fatal path. This proved to be unsuccessful, but nonetheless he tried. With Malfurion and the other druids spending their time in the Emerald Dream, it fell to Tyrande to lead their people. Which brings us to the events in Warcraft 3. Like Illidan said, the Legion, they had returned. Kil'jaeden had sent his creation the Lich King to weaken the world and get it ready for a new invasion. The Lich King recruited Kel'Thuzad, he recruited Arthas, had Lordaeron hit by a plague, and he had Archimonde summoned to our world.
You see, Lord Archimonde, we need not fear the Night Elves. The Scourge can...
Archimonde, after 10,000 years, how is it possible?
The Legion has returned to consume this world, woman. And this time, your troublesome race will not stop us. Fools! Let her slip away! Find her, damn you! Find her and kill her!
The day we have long feared has finally come. The Burning Legion has returned. I must cross the river and warn the rest of my sisters before all is lost.
Archimonde had returned, and he set his eyes on the world tree Ner'zhul to drain the tree from its powers. Not only would this weaken the Night Elves and take away their immortality, this would also boost Archimonde's powers. Tyrande realized she would need Malfurion's help. Normally it was the demigod Cenarius who would have woken the druids, but Grom Hellscream and his troops had killed Cenarius, so it fell to Tyrande to wake the druids. She claimed the Horn of Cenarius, pulled Malfurion from the dream, and together they moved to awaken the rest of the druids. Along the journey, they moved underground and they found a path leading to Illidan's prison.
Oh no. How could I have forgotten?
What is behind this door that worries you, my love?
This door leads to Illidan's prison, Tyrande. We should go. Now.
Illidan? It's been 10,000 years. Could he still be alive? We should free him, Furion. He would be the perfect ally against the undead and their demon masters.
No, Tyrande. That beast must never be set free.
But he is your brother.
Be that as it may, he is far too dangerous. I forbid it.
Only the goddess may forbid me anything. I will free Illidan whether you like it or not.
You might wonder, where's Maiev during all of this? Well, Maiev and the Watchers, they were charged with guarding Illidan, but over the years their duties spread out and they were charged with capturing more dangerous criminals. Just before these events, Maiev was called away on such a mission, and this is the reason why we don't see her guarding Illidan. Tyrande kills Illidan's guards and she sets the betrayer free.
Illidan, is that you?
Tyrande, it is your voice. After all these ages spent in darkness, your voice is like the pure light of the moon upon my mind.
The Legion has returned, Illidan. Your people have need of you once more.
Because I once cared for you, Tyrande, I will hunt down the demons. But I will never owe our people anything.
Then let us hurry back to the surface. The demon's corruption spreads with every second we waste.
10,000 years spent in darkness were unable to kill Illidan's love for Tyrande, and for her, Illidan would fight the Legion. He is now classified as a demon hunter, the first of its kind, and for some reason he still has his blades. They've never explained the details as to how Illidan got these weapons, and they've never explained why these weapons were in his cage or why the Night Elves didn't take them away from him. Nonetheless, Illidan breaks out to help Tyrande, and his brother Malfurion wasn't pleased with Tyrande's actions. He says that this betrayer might doom them all, but despite that, Illidan, he just goes out to fulfill his promise to Tyrande.
I am free after 10,000 years. Yet still my own brother thinks I am a villain. I'll show him my true power. I'll show him that the demons have no hold over me.
Are you certain of that, Demon Hunter? Are you certain your will is your own?
You reek of death, human. You'll regret approaching me.
Come then. You'll find that we're evenly matched.
Arthas the Death Knight was sent by his master Ner'zhul, also known as the Lich King, to point Illidan towards the skull of Gul'dan. Ner'zhul and Gul'dan, they used to be orcs, which is a huge story on its own, but at the end Gul'dan lost his life in search of more power, and Ner'zhul was punished by Kil'jaeden for betraying him. As punishment, Kil'jaeden turned Ner'zhul's soul into the Lich King, and he ordered him to weaken the world and get it ready for this invasion. Ner'zhul was no fool though, and he wasn't willingly working for the Legion. In secret, he schemed behind their back, and he had Arthas tell Illidan about the skull, so that Illidan could absorb its powers, take out the Dreadlord Tichondriads, and deal a severe blow to the Legion's invasion.
Now, at least the demons will no longer corrupt the forests. But if I destroy the skull and claim its powers as my own, I will become stronger than any of Archimonde's lieutenants. Yes, the power should be mine.
Now I am complete.
By absorbing the skull of Gul'dan, Illidan boosted his powers, but also transformed himself into looking more like a demon. Just like Malfurion, who became a stronger druid, he received antlers and wings and he looked more like an animal. Now that Illidan received more demonic powers, he started to look more like a demon, including horns, demon wings and even hooves. He did manage to take out Tichondrius though, he did manage to save Felwood and very likely the world, but Tyrande and Malfurion, they did not approve of his actions.
Foul demon! What have you done with my brother?
It is I, Furion. This is what I've become.
No. Illidan, how could you?
The leader of the undead has been destroyed. and the forests will heal in time.
At the cost of your soul? You are no brother of mine. Be gone from this place, and never set foot in our lands again.
So be it, brother.
Malfurion banishes his own brother from their lands, and he, together with Tyrande, they team up with Thrall and Jaina, and they take out Archimonde. It did cost them the World Tree Nordersil and the Night Elf's immortality, but they were able to stop the Legion, save the world, and in time the tree would heal. Many months after the battle, Illidan received a visit from Kil'jaeden himself.
Illidan, in the past you have been both friend and foe to the Burning Legion. But by consuming the skull of Gul'dan, you sealed our defeat in this world. I come to offer you a second chance to serve us.
What would you have me do, Great One?
My creation, the Lich King, has betrayed me. He dared to break the pact that binds him to my will. But his spirit still lies trapped inside the frozen throne of Icecrown. Destroy it for me, and I will grant you your heart's desire.
It shall be done, Great One. It shall be done.
Ner'zhul has become such a problem for Kil'jaeden that he recruits Illidan to take him out. The Skull of Gul'dan did not only give Illidan more power, it also gave him access to Gul'dan's memories, and the last memory of Gul'dan was him trying to get his hands on more power. Specifically, the Eye of Sargeras, an item which would give Illidan enough power to destroy the Lich King from a distance. Getting to the Tomb of Sargeras and collecting it would require more manpower, so Illidan used his magic to summon the Naga from the deep. Now it's never explained how he knew about the Naga or why they answered his call. If you want to give it a reason, you could say that Illidan's new eyes allowed him to see under the sea and he could see the Naga. A possible reason why they teamed up with him is because part of the Naga who joined him were led by Lady Vashj. It's possible that Lady Vashj remembered him from the day that he received his eyes. Or perhaps they truly believed that Illidan could conquer the world and get them a place on land. Either way, it did make for one hell of a cinematic.
Now go forth. Unleash the tides of doom upon all those who would oppose us.
Mayev's Shadow Song, she found out that Tyrande had freed Illidan and she couldn't believe that they had freed the betrayer. Don't forget that she had sacrificed millennia of her life to keep him locked away. So together with Naisha and the Wardens, Maiev resumed the hunt. Eventually, after fighting with Illidan's Nagas and even some satyrs, she found a way to the Tomb of Sargeras and she confronted Illidan.
So, Warden Shadow Song, you've made it at last. I knew you would.
You have much to pay for, Illidan. I'm taking you back to your cell.
Naivete does not suit you. When I consumed the power of Gul'dan's skull, I inherited his memories, especially those of this place, and the dark prize he coveted.
Yes, the power of Sargeras. You would claim it as your own.
That power is beyond my reach, little warden. But this, the Eye of Sargeras, contains all the power I'll need to rid this wretched world of my enemies once and for all. Ironic that you should be its first victim.
You're insane.
Isolation can do that to the mind. Now, after all the long centuries you kept me chained in darkness, it is only fitting that I bury you in turn.
As revenge to the one who kept him in prison, Illidan decided to sink the tomb back to the bottom of the sea. Maiev manages to escape the tomb with the use of her own blinking ability, but Naisha and all those that follow her inside the tomb perished that day. Outside, Illidan's Naga showed up to finish the job, and Maiev sent out a messenger to Malfurion, while she and the others tried to hold their ground. Tyrande and Malfurion, they arrived just in time to fight off the Naga and make their way to Illidan.
As the goddess wills.
Tyrande,
What are you doing here? This battle does not concern you.
I was wrong to set you free, Illidan. I can see that now. You've become a monster.
Monster? Is that what you think of me? I have always cared for you, Tyrande. I sought only to prove my worthiness, my power.
Raw power is no substitute for true strength, Illidan. That is why I chose your brother over you.
Still you refuse to see me for what I truly am. You believe me to be a villain, your enemy. But soon now, you will see that our enemies are the same.
All Illidan ever tried to do was prove his worth towards Tyrande. But Tyrande doesn't fall for raw power alone. She goes as far as to call Illidan a monster, but when Tyrande faces Illidan one-on-one, he still doesn't harm her.
Brother, what are you doing here? I've come to stop you, Illidan. Instead of banishing you, I should have returned you to your cage when I had the chance. I was weak then, but no longer. I have sworn allegiance to a new master, brother. I have a great task to perform in his service. I'm sorry, but I cannot allow you to stand in my way. Don't worry, my love. We'll find Illidan wherever he runs. We'll find him.
Illidan escapes in a boat just before they're able to capture him, and he sets sail to the lands of Lordaeron. At this point, Malfurion decides to stay behind in the forests of Lordaeron, which have suffered greatly under the influence of the Scourge. He is going to communicate with the land, see if he can do anything for it, and that means that Maiev and Tyrande, they team up and resume the pursuit of Illidan. Along their journey, they come across Kil'jaeden Sunstrider and his caravan. Kil'jaeden is actually a descendant from Daframar Sunstrider, and his people, the High Elves, now call themselves Blood Elves, in honor of those they'd lost against the Scourge and Arthas. Tyrande, despite Maiev's protest, offers to escort the caravan and protect it from the Scourge as it makes its journey to safer grounds. In return, Kil'jaeden agrees to help them in their search for Illidan, but the Scourge forces, they prove far too powerful and they overwhelm them. Tyrande stays behind as she tries to hold the Scourge back, but the bridge that she's standing on, it crumbles and the river takes her away. Kil'jaeden wants to go after her, try to save her, but Maiev tells him no. She's obsessed with finding the betrayer and she doesn't care what it takes or who she needs to sacrifice as long as she captures Illidan. In the forest of Lordaeron, Malfurion feels the effect that Illidan's spell has on Icecrown. The land itself screams out in turmoil since the spell is not only going to destroy the Lich King, it would also destroy Northrend.
I see the frozen land of Northrend, the very roof of the world. The land itself is being split asunder. How can this be? What could cause such devastation? It's working. Nothing can withstand the power of the Eye. Soon now, my master's enemies will be undone, and I will claim my just reward. Thank you, great spirits. I know what must be done. I promise you, this treachery will not go unpunished.
Malfurion quickly makes his way to Maiev's camp, where she tells him the news about Tyrande. She tells him that Tyrande has been torn apart by the Scourge instead of just being dragged away, and this infuriates Malfurion. The three of them ride off to stop Illidan from finishing his spell.
No! The spell is not done! It is not done! It is over, brother. Your vile schemes end here.
Illidan Stormrage, for recklessly endangering countless lives and threatening the very balance of the world, I hereby sentence you to death.
Too much blood has been spilled on your account, Illidan. Even now, I can feel the lands of Northrend reeling from the spell you cast. Imprisonment will not be enough this time.
I will execute him myself.
Fools! Can you not see? The spell we channeled was meant to strike at the undead, our common enemy. My mission was to destroy the Lich King's stronghold of Icecrown.
And no heed to the cost! Because of you, Tyrande is dead!
What? Your pardon, Lord Stormrage, but the priestess may still be alive. She was swept downriver, but it's premature to simply assume
Silence,
that...
Kael.
You told me she was torn apart. You lied to me.
The betrayer's capture was our primary concern, Shondo. I needed your help. I knew you would go to her, and we would lose our chance.
Just who is the betrayer now, woman? I must go to her immediately.
Believe me, brother. Despite all our differences, you know that I would never lead Tyrande to harm. Let me help you. My Naga can scour the river for us. Let me do this, at least.
Very well.
What? After all he's done, you would trust this traitor?
Silence! I will deal with you later. Let's go, brother.
Despite everything, Malfurion banishing him, Tyrande calling him a monster, Kil'jaeden who will surely kill him, Illidan still offers his aid to go and save Tyrande, since that's how much he loves her. His Naga managed to find Tyrande. Illidan and Malfurion, they save her life, and after that it's time to say goodbye.
You risked your life for me. I don't understand.
Whatever I may be, whatever I may become in this world, know that I will always look out for you, Tyrande.
Tyrande!
I knew you would not forsake me.
I thought I'd lost you forever, my love. If not for Illidan's aid, I may well have.
We have had much strife between us, my brother. I have known only ages of hate for you. But for my part, I wish it to end. From this day forward, let there be peace between us.
You have brought much suffering to the world, Illidan. For that, you can never be forgiven. However, you saved the life of my love. For that, I will let you go. But should you ever threaten my people again...
I understand, brother. Lordship over this world was never my aim. Only power. Only the magic. I've lingered here too long. I must go. By aiding you, I've betrayed my new master. If I am not careful, his wrath will be my end.
Malfurion can never forgive Illidan for all the things he has done in the past, but he is willing to let him go for saving the one he loves. Maiev shows up and she calls them fools for letting Illidan go, and she follows her prey through the portal into Outland. The next time that we would see Illidan is inside Maiev's cage. In the meantime, Kael'thas and Lady Vashj, they've teamed up and they also made their way to Outland to follow the one Lady Vashj calls master. Kael'thas decides to follow her because his people, the Blood Elves, they feel a hunger for magic. This hunger exists because Arthas destroyed their Sunwell, their source of magic, and Lady Vashj tells him that Illidan might have a cure. Besides that reason, the alliance that Kael'thas allied himself with, they were about to execute the prince and his people, so following Illidan was the better plan. They see that Illidan is captured by Maiev, though they set him free and they capture Maiev in the process.
You were right to come to me, Kael. I share the pain of your addiction, your hunger for magic.
Can you help us, Lord Illidan? Can you cure us?
There is no cure, young one. But there are ways to feed the hunger. Follow me and I will grant your people more magic than they can imagine.
So be it. Lord Illidan, my fellow Blood Elves and I humbly pledge ourselves to your service.
Then arise, young Kael. You shall be my right hand, and the harbinger of my wrath.
What of your plans, Master?
Illidan failed to destroy the Lich King and he knew that Kil'jaeden would not be pleased. His plan was to hide from Kil'jaeden on Outland, and while they were there, they might as well become the rulers of the planets. That position was currently in the hands of Macfariden, a powerful demon who was using portals to summon vast numbers of demons. To defeat MacFarredin, they would have to disable these portals, and along the journey, they meet Akama, a broken former Draenei who wants to see MacFarredin dead and take back his temple. One by one, the portals go down, and even the mighty MacFarredin falls to their might, but Kil'jaeden sees all.
What is this, Vosh? Where did this storm come from?
Keep your head down, fool. Something terrible is drawing near.
Foolish little mongrel. You failed to destroy the frozen throne as I commanded. And still you thought to hide from me in this forsaken backwater. I thought you to be more cunning, Illidan.
Kil'jaeden, I was merely set back. I was attempting to bolster my forces. The Lich King will be destroyed. I promise you.
Indeed. Still, these servitors you've gathered show some promise. I will give you one last chance, Illidan. Destroy the frozen throne, or face my eternal wrath.
Perhaps hiding here was not the most prudent decision. Still, the quest lies before us. Will you follow me into the cold heart of death itself?
The Naga are yours to command, Lord Illidan. Where you go, we follow.
The Blood Elves are yours as well, Master. We will drive the Scourge before us and shatter the frozen throne as you command.
And so, the race to Icecrown is on. Arthas and Illidan both tried to reach Icecrown first, and in the end they faced off against each other. Frostmourne versus the twin blades of Azzinoth.
The frozen throne is mine, demon. Step aside. Leave this world and never return. If you do, I'll be waiting.
I have sworn to destroy it, Arthas. It must be done.
Never.
Arthas and Frostmourne won the battle, and Arthas was in such a hurry to reach the top of Icecrown that he left Illidan in the snow to die. Illidan didn't die though. His allies Lady Vash and Kael'thas, they dragged him back to Outland. Again, Illidan had failed his mission, so there was nothing left to do but to prepare their forces for the inevitable wrath of Kil'jaeden.
You are not prepared.
Strangely enough, this punishment would never come, but that's a story we're going to save for next week. Next week we'll conclude the story by taking a look at what Illidan has done during the Burning Crusade, and we're going to speculate on any possible future stories. That means that for now, I'm going to end this video, so thank you very much for watching everyone. I hope you enjoyed the story so far, subscribe if you like my videos, and until next time guys, see ya!
You are not prepared!